A tough one Sunday for Marquette, but somehow, and I was very shocked when I saw it, somehow still found themselves in the top 25. In fact, moved up a game in the top 20, or moved up a ranking in the top 25 to number 24. They'll go on the road this week against South Florida, at home against DePaul. A couple winnable games there, and taking the time to join us to talk some Marquette hoops from Marquette Hoops, as well as Midwest baller Ryan Ellerbusch joining us on the show. Ryan, were you shocked when you saw him back in the top 25 at number 24?
Honestly, I was not shocked. I mean, looking ahead to the Brewers season, though, I think I'm definitely shocked that Marco Estrada is going in as two-starter. But I don't know if I was shocked too much, just for the fact that last week Marquette was ranked 25th, and they've been kind of on that bubble all year of the, whether being ranked or just falling out. I've been, following them, and other schools receiving votes. I think Marquette, is definitely a quality team. They play in a great conference in the Big East right now that has 7 ranked teams. So, I mean, that loss versus Louisville was pretty bad, but they have a good opportunity to bounce back this upcoming week with 2 pretty easy winnable games.
It seems like Buzz Williams hasn't really sung the praises of his team too much this year. He's always talking them down. So what has it been this year with this team that has put them in position here where they are in a race for a Big East title? This team that I saw at the Resch Center, back in December, that put up 47 points against the Green Bay Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, Buzz, after games, Buzz just talks down his team so much, and he's talking like, we'll never blow out a team, which is true. They just don't have kind of the offensive, I think, firepower to do that this year. Really, they really lock down on defense. And, but if you look at the standings right now, they're 6-2, ranked 24th, ahead of the Big East. And a lot of teams are, they're playing the 2-3 zone against Marquette, so they're trying to figure out, how to break that. And if they do that and, work their big guy, Devontae Gardner, down low, they definitely, have a chance to win any game in the Big East Conference. And, they have a 22 home game winning streak right now. So all their wins have been coming at home. It's when they go on the road, they haven't been playing as well as, Coach Buzz would like to.
Yeah, they had a nice game against Cincinnati. Obviously didn't come on top there, the Louisville game like we mentioned yesterday. But, you look at the schedule the rest of the season here. You got South Florida this week. You'd have to assume that's a winnable game. But then the rest of their road games are against teams that are outside of the Seton Hall game, teams that are kind of in the mix in this conference. You got your Villanovas of the world, Georgetown's, Rutgers right there in the middle as well. St. John's has played some good basketball too. So this team is really going to get tested as the season goes on, isn't it?
Yeah, the Big East is definitely a talented basketball conference. It's unfortunate that they're breaking it up, and Marquette's going to have to join the Catholic Seven. But Marquette definitely has some, tough games coming up at the end of the season against ranked teams. But for home games, these are the ones that Marquette is really going to need to take advantage on. They'll have Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Notre Dame. Those teams are all ranked. Those teams are at home. So Marquette needs to really take care of those, home games and win a couple on the road, and I think that they should be sitting in a pretty good position heading into the Big East tournament, and hopefully should get a good spot come the NCAA tournament time.
Yeah, we're chatting with Ryan Ellerbusch right now, Marquette Hoops, Midwest Ballers, taking the time to chat some Marquette with us here on WSCO. You bring up that NCAA tournament. Right now you're 6-2 in the conference, 15-5 overall. Have you put out some magic numbers where they need to get to in the Big East, where they need to get to in order to secure that NCAA tournament bid?
I haven't quite yet. I saw that you posted a nice blog this morning about bracketology, kind of breaking down the high school boys basketball tournament. I thought that was pretty impressive that you did. But I haven't really took much of a look how Marquette is going to, go into the NCAA tournament. Haven't really took a look at how they're going to, get there. But, they should have a good chance. They're ranked if they can just, stay within the rankings. And like we were talking about with the schedule heading down, the rest of the way, if they can just, take care of business and win a few more games, I think they should be, pretty well in shape to get another bid. So they've been to the Sweet 16 the past 2 years. Do I think they can get back there this year? Yes, but I really can't see them, advancing too far. They're really lacking in a few areas. They just haven't been able to blow out opponents this year, but they have been winning the close games. And Vanderblue, Trent Lockett, Devontae Gardner, just to name a few players, have been putting in pretty consistent efforts throughout the season, and they'll need to keep that up.
Here's the scary thing about the Big East, though, Ryan. When you look at the standings, one game separates the top 9 teams because the 2 teams that are in 8th and 9th are 6 and 4 in Pittsburgh and St. John's, and they have as many wins as Syracuse and Marquette, who are in the top there. So you look, one bad week in this league, you can go from the top right on that brink of, I'm not going to call it being a bubble team, but having to play, an extra game or two in the Big East tournament.
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, there's 8 teams separated by 1 game. So, Marquette's going to really have to come out and, treat every game, as hard as they can. Whether you're not playing a ranked team, you're going to have to treat them just like you're playing the first-place team in the Big East in Syracuse. You're going to have to play each of those games really hard. I really enjoyed your interview with Brian Wardle, how he kind of talked about the cockiness and swagger of this team. I think Marquette definitely has that and will use that to their advantage. They just need to really, keep their, heads focused and really, just take care of some of these easy games and play play competitive with some of the higher-ranked teams. If they're going to lose those games, lose them by at least close. But they'll have a good RPI heading into the NCAA tournament. I think they've been playing some pretty good ball as of late, too.
Vander Blue up to 14.9 points a game, kind of emerging as the go-to guy this year in his junior season. Obviously, Wisconsin sports fans know all about Vander Blue, but he's a Marquette Golden Eagle. Do you see him coming into his own right now? And what's the difference from Vander this year, maybe to the past couple of years that we didn't see, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. I really like the steps that Vander has been taking, and Buzz has said that in the past few games, because Vander recently had his career high of 30 points, and he's just really, taking smart shots is the key. He came in as a freshman and a sophomore. He was shooting bad shots. His form is a little bit shaky. You'll watch games now on TV, and you'll see his form isn't probably, as smooth as it should be. But he's averaging 15 points right now. He was known coming to Marquette his early years as a defensive threat. He's really taken that defensive threat. It's really helped his offensive game. He's been driving to the basket more. He's been able to finish, which Marquette fans have been loving, and he's even been able to add a little 3-point stroke to his shot. So he's definitely been a really key player. And, with the recent guys in Jay Crowder, Darius Johnson-Modem, Jimmy Butler, Vander Blue's kind of had to take on that leadership a little bit more this season, and he's really been thriving, which is good to see as only a junior.
Ryan Ellerbusch with us for a few more minutes. You can read his work on Marquette Hoops and Midwest Ballers. Talking some Marquette Hoops with us now here on WSCO. Is Buzz Williams taking the Bo Ryan role now in college basketball? And I say that from the standpoint of Bo was so underrated for so many years that he's not anymore. I think everybody knows how good Bo Ryan is. I think Buzz Williams is that new guy. I think he gets overlooked with just how good of a coach he is because, everybody has been so fixated on Bo Ryan and the job he's done.
I definitely agree. The first couple of years, they thought of Buzz Williams, this guy coming out of New Orleans University, this Texas guy. But now that Marquette's been to the Sweet 16 the past couple of years, he's been getting all of this, more media publicity and just, by some of the bizarre stuff that he does, even like during the games, like dancing on the sidelines. And then there was that, that Marquette bat situation. I think a lot more people are starting to take notice of Marquette basketball and just seeing, how much more talented they are. And Buzz has done a great job recruiting, too. He's got a class of 2013 coming in next year that's top 10 nationally known. So he's definitely got a lot of great players coming in, and he's definitely a Texas guy. The past couple of years, he's kind of given, Marquette fans a little bit of a scare, thinking that he might, want to go back to his Texas roots and maybe coach down there. But Marquette's very blessed to have Buzz Williams here. He's great with the players on and off the court, definitely teaches them well, life lessons, talks about them, with them, not just about basketball, but just about life in general, graduates players every year. Marquette's really lucky to have him. He's a big asset, definitely, to the program.
Ryan, you bring it up with the flirtation, or not that even Buzz flirts. People like to throw his name out there, but now you have the Big East dissolving, the new conference. Is there fear that that flirtation may turn into something a little bit more, that this might be the year that it happens because of the conference change?
I think there could be. Buzz and, the athletic department, they've made it real, just real that they're going to, Buzz is going to stay here. We're going to join the Catholic Seven. It's still going to be a good conference. DePaul, Georgetown, Providence, Seton Hall, St. John's, Villanova. Those will still be some good basketball schools. I like to see Buzz here, the rest of his career. He's doing a great job. He's bringing in all these, great recruits coming in. He's definitely got, a Final Four bound team in a couple of years, down the road. But it should be interesting definitely to see how this Catholic 7 basketball conference kind of plays out. But I think Marquette definitely has a good chance of, winning that conference because they're definitely a basketball. I mean, basketball is bled all around campus. Everybody loves it, and I definitely think that Marquette is going to be a powerhouse once this new Catholic 7 conference starts, and, hopefully Buzz Williams will stay here with the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, I think a lot of it will have to do, too, with outside of that Catholic 7, who they're able to get in, because if you can get some of those names like Creighton and Xavier and, a Butler, some of those other teams out of the A-10 too, the St. Louis's of the world, you really got yourself a damn good basketball conference.
Yeah, you'll be losing some of the teams in the Big East like Syracuse and those schools, but I mean you'll be getting in. I've heard Creighton, I've heard Xavier, I've heard all those schools that you mentioned. So this could still be a pretty exciting basketball conference. I'm excited. For the future when they announce it.
The only thing is you lose the markets, the big name recognition. Although I think specifically here in the Midwest too, we enjoy that small, not the small market, but the mid-major style of basketball. So it might be the right fit for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Ryan Ellerbusch taking the time to join us. Marquette Hoops as well as Midwest Ballers talking some Marquette Hoops. Hey, Ryan, great stuff. We'll have to do it again, all right?
All right, sounds good, Justin. Thanks for having me on the show.